Welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. I'm one of your hosts, Sabrina Hannon.
I am Megan Manley.
And we are going to talk about Forbidden Door today. But first, bringing back something that we have not done in a long time, wrestling paraphernalia, because I'm rearranging my house and found my Bret Hart autographed sunglasses. Let's see if I can actually... Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Sabrina with a heart.
Yep. That's right. We have a close person related. No, I met him once at an autograph signing. Who I have to say, one, he is so much larger of a human being than you would think. And two, he was super nice, super kind. I've run it. Well, I mean, I paid to run into him for this. And then I ran into him after a different autograph signing with my friend Priscilla. And she didn't want like a picture or anything. She just wanted to be like, I love you, basically. And she was afraid to go up to him because she was like, I don't want to bother him. You know, I'm sure he's had a long day. And I was like, dude, you're just saying like, love your work and running away. And she was just like, yeah, but you read his book. He doesn't suffer fools. I'm like, yes. And I also know he has a soft spot for attractive women. You're fine. Go. And as soon as I said that to her, she went, oh yeah, you're right. And so she like tiptoed up and she was like, hello, Mr. Hart. I just want to say, I really appreciate your work and you made my childhood wonderful. And like his face lit up. It was a lovely moment. And then she scampered away.
You know, I'd probably be afraid to go up to him too, because I was such a Bret Hart kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was absolutely in love. Like my 6-year-old ass was convinced I was marrying Bret Hart.
No.
Like tomorrow. I think I'd still be like I would turn back into that 7-year-old and I'd get like just really nervous and afraid. I probably wouldn't be able to go up to him either.
Like, again, had he been like eating or something, I would not have encouraged her. But he was waiting for like the valet to bring his car around, or I don't think he was driving it, somebody else was, but like that's what was going on. And what I thought was super fucking rude was there were people who were going up to him asking for photos, and I'm like, he was just doing that and charging for it, and you wait till no. And like, no.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Like they definitely were doing that on purpose to save some money, which
Mm-hmm.
it like it would be different if you ran into him like out on the street maybe and
Yeah.
just be like, hi, like nice to meet you, love your work. Would it be okay if like, ask like if you'd be okay with it? But like at a con or something and he was like, at a table and charging for it and you wait till after, like that's really fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Especially since Bret Hart he could charge a lot more than he does for like photos and autographs. I think like the signature and everything that I got with the sunglasses was like $25.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, this was 10 years ago, maybe. But I mean, it's Bret Hart. Like
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels was at that same convention and charging like $200. Which again, Bret Hart could choose to do that. People would definitely pay it. I think he just makes the decision not to.
I like that because that makes it not very exclusive. Like he's not excluding people.
Mm-hmm.
He's making a conscious effort to make sure that fans of pretty much all walks of life has the chance to meet him if they'd like to. Like,
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe he even did it out of spite, like, fuck this guy.
that's also a possibility.
But
Oh,
I,
Sean's charging that much. Well, guess what?
mm-hmm. Oh,
I think
yeah.
they're okay now. Like, I don't think they'll ever be best friends, but I think they're at a point where they're like okay with each other.
Yeah. Probably, especially I think they've seen so many people from like their time like go at this point. Like they're,
Yeah.
you know,
Also, I think since like Sean found Jesus and stopped doing drugs and became a different person, he's probably a lot easier to deal with than he was when he was just a sexy boy.
Yes. Yes. There's that. I think Sean is somewhat apologized for like his role in being a shithead. So
Oh yeah, he's acknowledged that he was an asshole. Like he knows what he was like. And
yeah.
I'm sure now he's completely different. Like I'm sure if you met him, he's like, funny, gracious, and shit like that. Like he's someone I would like to meet. I think he'd be fun. Like he'd be cool.
Yeah. Not for $200, but
No, there's not a lot of wrestlers I would pay $200 for. Brett's probably one. If Macho Man were still alive, he would definitely be another. Obviously, do I even have to say it? Like Kenny Omega, the Bucks. I'd probably pay to see the Bucks.
well, it's like $100 a buck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Like Sammy or Kevin Owens, 100%. Not even a question. I would drop like a half a paycheck to meet either of them. Um, but a lot of the others, like I'd be like, maybe next time. Oh, Foley. I'd pay a lot to see Foley too, because he was another one of my favorites.
Foley's another one that so I've seen him a couple of times at Comic-Con, and the one time it was free. He was promoting his Santa documentary, and it was entirely free. He had like his sons there dressed as elves. It was wonderful. And because he wasn't charging, like he was just chatting away with folks.
Love him. Did you watch him and the Undertaker watching their Hell in a Cell match back? So it was the 25th anniversary.
No, I didn't see that
It's
yet.
You have to look it up on YouTube. It's not that long. I think it was maybe like 20 minutes, half hour,
Mhm.
or something like that. But like them just talking. It's interesting seeing them together watching it and talking about what was going through both of their minds at that time. Because like I think everybody at this point has heard like their separate views, but then like together reminiscing about it, it was like interesting and weirdly heartwarming. Like
Yeah.
for such a violent
Mhm.
match. Like,
Well, I mean, also like, how can anything with Mick Foley not be heartwarming?
he's such a comment I made to Brian because we watched it last night. Um, I He said something about like how he doesn't really curse, but when he was up on top of the cage, he was cursing in his head. Like when he was up there at first, like going like, "What the bleep am I doing up here?" Like he was like scared, like saying like people like he's not good at heights and people look like ants and everything. And I was like, how is a man who had some of the most violent like gimmicks and matches such a cinnamon roll of a human being? Like,
Yeah. Like there's not many people, especially in wrestling, that if someone was like bad mouthing them, 'cause I don't know these people, that I'd be like, you can go fuck yourself. Like as a person. Mick Foley is definitely one of those people I'd be like, no, 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 no. The man loves Knobles, like he loves
yeah,
Santa.
honestly, I was just about to say, I wonder if he still goes to Knobles at all. Like,
He went this 2 weeks ago.
I'll get out.
Yeah, Knobles shared it like after he left and like him waiting to get on rides and stuff.
That's so cool. So he must live not far from us, I'm assuming
Long
then.
Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know if Noel was with him, but I think at least one of his sons was.
Cool. I just get a kick out of the fact that he likes Knobles because it's such a like niche thing for like northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Like I feel like a lot of people outside of that don't really know about Knobles. And I don't know, I just find it cool that like he just goes there. Like someplace
Mhm.
I've gone, I went like every year of my childhood. Like,
Yeah. And like it's crazy because like I sometimes wonder if like as a kid, like I walked past him and had no idea who he was, like when I was little.
same. I was just thinking the same thing. I was just thinking like, if I was there in like 1990 when I was like 5, if he was there with his kids one of the time, like I wouldn't have known at that point. Like,
Yeah. Mm. Oh, yeah, but he's like a squishmallow. Like if a human being could be a squishmallow, it would be Mick Foley. He's someone as well. Like, there's not many wrestlers that like I would meet repeatedly, but he is someone that I would definitely just because like it's Mick Foley.
who else I feel is kind of on that level, like modern day?
Hmm.
Sami Zayn. I feel like Sammy is another one
The
that is
secret's
like
in the beard.
right. He's just like he's such a precious little angel that I would defend him to the death. Like
Yeah, I could see you doing that.
right? There's no Sami Zayn slander in this household.
I see you on top of the hill with like a little Sami Zayn flag.
Right. I defend his honor. Like
Okay. So let's get into actually talking about Forbidden Door. At least this
uh,
brand had everything to do with wrestling,
yeah, we veered off, but not into like 90s pop culture.
which does involve a lot of wrestling, but we digress.
So I have the list up of
Mhm.
the match order. And we open the show with MJF and Tanahashi and an AEW World Championship title match.
Yeah. I will say, like, throughout the show, I was surprised that there wasn't more pomp and circumstance with the entrances, like, overall. But I loved the gear, like, as a general, like, overarching theme.
Yeah, I got a kick out of MJF continuing on with his whole thing of like New Japan being a indie promotion and it's saying it on the back of the robe he came out with. Like he's so good at just poking at the fans, like just knowing what buttons to push with that fan base. He's brilliant at it.
I think
I can't say enough. Like
I think the reason he knows what buttons to push is because he himself is such a big fan and he knows what would like work him.
yeah, yeah, that's a very good point. He he does definitely strike me as a person that would have been a fan of the alternative. I mean, Punk was one of his favorite wrestlers, so that right there shows you. Like, and like Adam Cole was one of his favorites, and he definitely liked the anti-hero. Like,
Yeah, and um he is also such a huge like old school wrestling like before you and I were born, black and white, classy, Freddie Blassie, that type of wrestling fan. So, I think he probably likes everything.
yeah, I would imagine so. I think that's another reason why he's so big into keeping like kayfabe like outside of everything because he's just such a fan of wrestling, like
Mhm.
classic and like the rock and wrestling and attitude and modern. Like he's just I still don't feel like he gets enough credit. Like he's
Yeah,
starting to now, but I honest to God think this kid is gonna go down as one of the best of all time. I really do. He's just phenomenal. Like
agree. Absolutely agree. And I don't know if it was on TikTok or Twitter or somewhere. Someone said that like they ran into MJF at an airport. They saw him at an airport. And they were close enough that they heard him interacting with like staff and stuff. And he was so nice, so polite. But then he clocked the person was wearing like an AEW shirt or something. And he instantly switched to being an asshole.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is, I wonder how many people have seen him out in the wild and like he didn't know that they're a wrestling fan because they're just wearing like normal non-wrestling clothing and had seen him like interact with people in a normal way. I I wonder how many people have seen the real MJF that aren't working in the business. There has to be people that have like seen it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine most of Long Island at this point. I mean, he got the key to the city and yeah, like he does all of this charity work for them. So
I mean, it's the only city in the world that he's a complete baby face. So,
yeah, complete baby face.
but the match, like, so obviously Tanahashi is older. He's 46 years old. His knees are fucking shot. You can tell even when he's walking down to the ring that like his knees just don't work like normal knees anymore. So I wasn't expecting like any kind of I wasn't expecting anything like Orange Cassidy's like four-way match, like
Yeah.
crazy. But Tanahashi still, even with limited movement, is such a great performer. Like he's such a great showman.
Mhm.
You can easily see why he was the top guy in New Japan, like the same time that Cena was the top guy over here. He's just got great energy, and he's really good at covering up mistakes real quick, like with like slipping off the ropes. And I thought they put on a really fun match. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a very good match. It's not it's not common that you see the belt holder, like the main title holder for any company, to be the opening match. Um, but it also made a lot of sense. Um, because I mean, obviously the dream match was going to be the last one. So you want to set a tone. MJF, in and of himself, like whoever he's wrestling, he'll set that tone. And he had a great partner in that match, and just phenomenal. They did fantastic.
Yeah, I very much liked it. And it wasn't even that long. It was just over 15 minutes. It was exactly as long as it needed to be.
Hmm.
They yeah, they just I mean it's MJF and Tanahashi. Like you can't really have a bad match with two like wrestlers of that caliber.
Yeah, a 20-year age difference too between them, which is nuts.
Yeah, insane. Very insane. And then how about little fun fact, this is 2 years in a row that Tanahashi has challenged for the AEW title and has lost. He wrestled Mox for it last year and MJF this year. And I'm telling you, I like one of these Forbidden Doors. I just want like maybe next year. I would love to see them just give it to him for like a month while he's doing like the G1 and just like bring it over to New Japan. And on the flip side, I would love to see whoever like challenges for the New Japan title to just get that for like a month and kind of really cross promote each promotion. I think that would be pretty fun. Probably not going to happen, but it's something I'd like to see.
I think it'd be fun. I think there's almost no way in hell we will see it.
I think we'd have a better chance of seeing Tony Khan allow the AEW title to go to New Japan for a little bit
Mhm.
than New Japan allowing their title to come to the US. They might still be worried when like because when Brock like held the title hostage,
Yeah.
they had to make a new title.
Mhm. Yeah. Brock Lesnar, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, if you're ready for the next
Yeah.
match, that was CM Punk in Kojima. Um, holy shit, it's definitely not Chicago anymore.
As I said in the text to you, CM Punk might have a city. Kenny Omega has a country. He is CM Punk is not welcomed in Canada. And I think he's gonna get very similar reactions throughout the United States.
Yeah, I feel like the West Coast is going to be an issue for him. Um, I'm going to try to hold off on another point that I had with the Elite versus Punk thing because not all of Canada were fans of the entire Elite. Um,
Yeah.
there were two members of the Elite that they were very much a fan of, and then there were two members that got boos. Um, but I think it'd be different when they go to the West Coast.
Yeah. Because
I
I
think
mean, that's Young Buck territory.
yep. I'm interested in seeing how New York, Philly, Boston are going to react because they're really known for being like hardcore wrestling areas.
Well, AEW would have to spend some time coming to Philly. And they only do that like once every 2 years. So
Come every year,
have they?
just not during lockdown. I mean, nobody can come anywhere during lockdown
Have they come once a year to Philly?
besides when they were in Daly's place for all that time.
Yeah.
They their third Dynamite ever, the one that I was at, that was in Philly. That
Mhm.
was 2019. So then they were supposed to come back because we wanted to go,
Yeah.
but everything shut
2020.
down.
Yeah.
So most of 2020 they weren't there, and they were in Daly's place in 2021 until I forget when. And then I think,
They did go because we were supposed to go in 2022, but
yeah,
someone
2022 when Brian and I got COVID and
Mhm.
we couldn't go. So yeah, every year that they have been able to travel, they've gone to Philly.
I
So
guess it feels like they don't I'm so spoiled by WWE coming not just to Philly a couple times a year, but to Wilkes-Barre a couple times a year, that to me it seems like AEW has never been here.
I mean, they haven't been here and they won't be because
Yeah.
WWE has deals with a lot of their arenas that rival promotion. That's why WCW was never at, what was it then? The FU Arena, I think, First Union Arena.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. Yeah.
but that's why it was always just them. So we're unfortunately probably not going to get AEW here or Hershey. Hershey's another place that WWE frequents, so we won't see them there. Philly's going to be our best bet.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing is like AEW goes to Pittsburgh a lot. Um so I'm just salty. That's what this comes down to. I'm just salty that they don't come near us enough.
I'll blame WWE for that because I'm sure they would if they could. Because Mohegan Sun Arena is like the perfect size for a Dynamite
Mhm.
or a Collision, like perfect size for it. I hate that WWE has a stranglehold on it. Like, you only come here like twice a year. Could you let wrestling in general come to my area, please? Like, could you fuck off for another like one day a year? Well, it really irks me.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens when uh yeah. The Northeast is always an interesting wrestling towns territory,
Yeah, I
wrestling territory.
can't wait till they come back. 'Cause I'm dying to see the reaction that he's gonna get on the East Coast.
Mhm.
I feel like it's gonna be very mixed. We have a lot of diehard Punk and a lot of diehard Elite fans. I think it's gonna be pretty 50-50 when they come around this way. Um, the match itself, he really leaned into playing the heel. He seemed like he did not let the booze get to him. I think he's gonna do that. I think places that are cheering him more, he'll be like, "Yay!" And places that are not, he's like, "Grr."
Mhm. I think he's gonna live in the tweener place for a little bit. Um, I mean, no matter how you feel about CM Punk, you have to realize that he has a very smart wrestling mind. As long as he's getting a reaction, he's doing his job. So and he's been a great heel, he's been a great face. He can do either. So
I like Punk at his best when he's doing like the tweener role. When he's
like for me, I always think of a Triple H, because he was like he to me is the ultimate tweener, like the bad guy who like you just kind of root for because he's so sarcastic and dickish and great.
yeah. Um, again, I mean, good match.
Hmm.
The I'm just gonna say right now, I feel like every match on this card was good except for the one where I think Sting got concussed and then everything went off the rails. Um, but yeah, another good match. I mean, Punk. I think Joe's probably gonna win his bracket, so they can.
Sorry, keep going. I had a thought.
I was just gonna say I think Joe's gonna win his like part of the tournament, so we got Punk and Joe, like a singles match. But that was all I had to say on that.
The fuck you Pepsi, or was it Pepsi sucks? One of the two. The
Pepsi sucks.
Yeah, Pepsi sucks. Loved it. One, I do hate Pepsi. It makes my teeth squeak. I don't know how like it like coats my teeth in something and they like squeak. There's a feeling in my mouth. I hate it. I don't like soda in general as an adult anymore. But it has always done that. And as a kid, I thought it was kind of cool. And as an adult, I'm like, this is eating away the enamel on my teeth. Um,
I just don't
yeah.
like cola. God damn, one of the best matches of the night. It was Orange Cassidy, um, Zack Sabre Jr., Shibata, and Daniel Garcia for that 4-way international championship match, for a match that was only 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Holy shit.
Yep. And I would also like to take this moment to say I was right. Daniel Garcia was there to eat that pin. I also, like, as the match got started, I just remember texting Megan, like, did he rip his pants? Is that what I'm seeing? Or is it a poor design choice? It was that he ripped his pants, as confirmed on Dynamite later in the somewhere.
No, he did the same little dance at Forbidden Door that he did on
Oh,
Dynamite.
yeah,
And
and
they said
Dynamite's
that
when he,
was,
yeah, yes,
yeah,
yeah, because that's his little
sports
I'm a
entertainment.
sports entertainer move. I think that's just how he's like seducing the fans.
What's funny is after he does that, like the crowd was chanting, "You're a wrestler."
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm gonna go on a little tangent about Garcia right now. I feel like they wasted a perfect opportunity. He was getting so over with like Bryan Danielson and like just he I don't know why they put him back in the Jericho Appreciation Society into the same exact role that like he was starting to get out of. He was getting red hot reactions everywhere he was going for a while. Like, I don't get Tony Khan's booking decisions sometimes when someone's getting super over and then they're put back to where they were before they started getting over. It, I don't know. It just, and then again, like this match, he proved just how good he is. He really is a good wrestler. I don't understand why he was put back into that silly gimmick. I don't know. That's my little tangent about that because it just really irks me. And when they were chanting, "You're a wrestler," like it just brought out like the fire in me again.
For those of you not watching, just listening along, I was nodding that entire time because yeah, everything Megan just said, double that. Yeah, yeah. And like the thing is, I feel like had they at no point did I think Daniel Garcia was an actual threat to OC like Orange Cassidy's reign here. Had they done the switcheroo back when everything was going on with Bryan Danielson, I like if he was that character, like if they had run with that, that would have been believable. Like been like, oh, this is probably when OC is losing it. Shucks. Like
Yeah.
but that no. And it was an excellent match. I still want to see Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. like one-on-one.
We're gonna, because the way that that match ended, they left it open where we're definitely gonna end up seeing Shibata and Orange Cassidy because he kind of like stole the win.
Yeah.
Um and the way that they ended it with like the three of them, I'm half wondering if they're gonna do some kind of unification match, not for Zack Sabre Jr.'s belt, because they literally just made that belt, but for the Ring of Honor one that Shibata has and Orange Cassidy's belt and just like turn it into one thing. Um that could be interesting. Oh, hang on.
Mhm.
I feel like there's something in my throat.
I blame the air quality. We're under another air quality alert, everyone, because we are in the Northeast. And of course, Canada is on fire. So, yeah, we might have some issues. Yeah, so that match, though, again, excellent. I think that there was, so it's not often that I have any sort of criticism for Orange Cassidy. And this is but a slight thing that I noticed, which was so he was selling his hand injury the whole match, obviously. Not just the whole match, like the past 2-3 months, it feels like. And in the match, what hand does he shake Shibata's hand with? The injured one. And like, no, like, oh, my wee wrist. Oh.
You know, I didn't even pick up on that, to be completely honest with you.
I did because I'm a psychopath. But I was just like, my dude.
We
Wrong.
all have our people.
Yeah. Huh?
I said we all have our people that we're like eagle-eyed on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Orange Cassidy is probably, I feel it's safe to say he's my favorite wrestler in AEW. Like, I love his whole shtick. He is so fun to watch. And I've never seen a match of his that I have not been entertained by. Like if he's on screen, I know I'm in for a good show. I can't say that with others. And it's crazy to me. He's not my favorite wrestler at like right now in general because half of WWE's women's roster takes those slots. But yeah, just he's excellent. And there's very few times where I see something where I'm just like, that doesn't quite, it's okay.
Got one.
Hmm.
That like orange juice mimosa match that he had with Jericho, where you had to get thrown in that at the end. That's the only one that I'm like, yeah, we could have done without that match.
Yes, that was a strange gimmick.
Yeah.
Very strange gimmick match.
To me, that's like
Yeah.
how it's like on the level of the exploding death thing, like with Kenny at the. It was like two things that were not great to look back on.
Yeah, I feel like that was so early in a this is me making excuses for so early in AEW's career, like they were trying to be different that I stop giving me the look, all right? I know.
I mean, that's basically around the same time as the exploding. It was all Daly's place. So
Yeah, and like man, they should have sued whoever did that and the pyro for that. Oh,
they were trying a lot of different shit then because they were, you know, it was locked down. They were in the same place for so long. I mean, there was that arcade match with like Miro and Kip Sabian, and I don't remember who they were fighting against in that match. Best friends, maybe? Might have been best friends.
I don't remember.
It's just a lot of strange stuff to try to like entertain us during a really dark time.
The
So I
guns
get it.
were ringside going nuts.
Yeah, like I get it why they did like, you know, the orange juice thing and the exploding stuff and arcade stuff and other gimmicky things. I appreciate them trying to go above and beyond while everyone was stuck home scared and miserable.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that they've put, if I'm not mistaken, in the new video game, they've put the exploding barbed wire match in. And I'm just like, I don't know if this is a good for you moment or not, but hey, you're
I'm
doing it.
excited. I'm excited to see some of the stuff from the game because I was working today, so I didn't get to see a lot of it. And I don't know if this image is real or not, but Brian sent me a tweet that a screenshot that I don't know if it's from the game or not. But it's Jeff Hardy at the side of the road with a car there saying pulled over on highway somewhere Georgia. It's like, is this really in the game? He's like, I don't know, but I saw it.
I'm going
So
to
I'm
assume
not.
it's not, but who knows? I mean,
Yeah, I have no idea.
um,
But let's see, where were we?
uh,
Before
the four-way match.
the thing that I love the most about this is that it is going to lead to a singles match, like definitely. And
Probably two singles matches.
I'm hoping that next time Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy do have a match, I hope it's in Japan. I think that would be pretty badass. I would love to
Yeah.
see how the Japanese crowd reacts to Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that as well. I do have to say, like, I think Shibata is one of my favorite wrestlers that I have been introduced to because of like Forbidden Door stuff. Um and it's partially because of his story about like, nearly dying in the ring. Like I love me a good story, but he's someone now that I'm always really like not against Orange Cassidy, but I'm always pulling for otherwise.
Yeah, he's great. All four men in this match, easily I could say, are four of the best wrestlers in the world. Like they're in their own way. They're just. I was disappointed when it was turned into a four-way, but then when I saw that match, I was like, okay, no, I'm totally fine with this. Especially when you know that it's leading to singles matches, and they left it open.
Yeah.
So I'm totally cool with it.
As long as we actually get those matches, all will be forgiven, Tony Khan.
I mean, there's a really good possibility, since it is in the UK, that we're probably going to get Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. at All In.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Um, and like the other, any combination of the other three can happen at any time.
Hmm.
So, let's see. Next we had, we had Sonata versus Jungle Boy, who is Jungle Man now. Like,
Yeah, unfortunately, I had some technical issues during this match, so I missed. I when my it went out towards the beginning of the match, and then it came back after he hit Hook. Like I missed basically the whole thing. I caught Taz's reaction and like Hook laying there. That's what I got.
I that's a shame because this was good. Again, like I have no complaints about like almost any match. Um, Sonata, I've been a fan of for a while. Like since he was in a tag team with Evil, like for a long time. I've always hoped that they pulled the trigger on him because for a while, like Sonata, bless him, he was like always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And when they finally did like give him the belt, I was super stoked. And I love his whole makeover that they did, the haircut and the color change and the suits, and like he looks like a mega star now. I and he's so good. And like Jack Perry really held his own in a match against, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He looked like he belonged. I I really love the match. It was short. It was, I think I read like the shortest New Japan title, like heavyweight title match in like I think over a decade, like a long time. I think since like Brock Lesnar had it, so a very long time. Usually these matches with that belt are at least like a half hour, and this was not even 11 minutes.
Yeah, it was a hiccup.
Main focus of this match, I think, was more on the breaking up of Jungle Hook
Hmm.
than the actual title match.
Not just the
Sadly,
breaking up of Jungle Hook, but on the heel turn. But I just hope they don't cut my hair twins' hair. I don't want that to happen. He is the only celebrity I've ever been told I look like.
I don't think they'll cut the hair. If anything, he might wear it up more. Like I could see, like put it in a little man bun or something.
I'm kind of hoping they give him a manager of some sort, like that he picks up a manager soon, someone who can do the talking for him while he. And it's so funny, right? That Jack Perry is not great on the mic when his father was one of the most beloved actors of the 90s and then starting again in like the 2010s because of Riverdale. So irony there. Irony. But like, well, I guess also scripted stuff is different than being in front of a live crowd. Even if it is scripted then. Um But yeah, I'm hoping they give him a manager so he has time to like brush up on stuff. Um, yeah. And I like that like Taz got up and like walked off after that and was just like, My boy, I know my boy will be fine. Jack Perry's in a lot of trouble." Burp, 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 burp.
Yeah, another thing I like is it seemed like they immediately stopped referring to him as Jungle Boy at that
Mhm.
point with the heel turn, and it was Jack Perry. And
Yeah.
I would so we're recording on Wednesday this week. Usually we record Tuesday or Wednesday. This week it's a Wednesday. And so that tonight we're going to hear from him. I'm willing to bet he comes out to new music and it is going to say Jack Perry and not Jungle Boy any longer.
Yeah. I love
Think
that he
Jungle,
mocked everyone with
yeah,
the arms.
yeah. I think Jungle Boy's dead, and reborn from the ashes is Jack Perry.
He comes out dressed like a weird phoenix. He got
Yeah,
a
that.
makeover from Dalton Castle.
If I have to guess, it's going to be like jeans and a leather jacket and hair pulled back in a ponytail with like biker boots. That's going to be my guess of what he's wearing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if they go that route, depending on how many women or people who are attracted to men are in that audience, I think he's going to get a very different reaction
Yeah, possibly.
because he's going to look more like his dad if they do that.
God, yeah, he is. Oh, it's going to make me sad. Like, my reaction's going to be sad.
So some people will be weeping, some people will be throwing their panties. Like they got to be careful how they handle this.
I mean, honestly, when he does pull his hair back, like, it's almost shocking how much it's like, holy shit, it's Luke Perry.
He like that. No paternity test needed.
Mm-mm. No, he's definitely his daddy's son with his mom's hair. Like,
Yeah, which had to be so weird because that like some of his friends' moms were like in love with his father growing up. So like that's so weird. Like, honey, go be friends with that little boy over there. Make friends. Mommy wants to meet daddy.
is he his mom? I'm thinking like Stacy's mom scenarios with some of them too.
Yeah, only it'd be more of a Jack's mom, Jack's dad, sorry, has got going on.
Oh no, I was thinking of like the moms inappropriately attracted to the kid because he looks just like
Oh,
the father.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure of that 100%.
yeah. But moving on from that depressing thought about that poor child when he was a teenager.
You thought
We
depressing, I thought disgusting.
Well, I mean, depressing because it's disgusting. So that next we had the 10-man tag team, which was such a New Japan thing to do. On a lot of New Japan pay-per-views, it's like, all right, all these big names don't have a match tonight, so we're gonna throw them all into a massive tag team match, and that's what this was.
I loved Eddie King, like the story of Eddie Kingston and John Moxley throughout this.
I just heard you say I loved Eddie Kingston. That makes me so happy.
He has won me over against John
Yay!
Moxley. Yeah, it's been a real slow burn to get me on the Eddie Kingston train. Good job there, sir. You've done it.
Happy dance. Because I have been
I swear it was me seeing him do all those like cutting those promos on like chips and stuff like that. That I was like, all right, he's pretty funny, man. And then I was like, he's got some skills in the ring. And then I was just like, I hope he kicks John Moxley's ass.
Oh, I'm so happy. I've loved him since I first saw him. Yay. You know what I really love about him too? I Now that we're on this like Eddie Kingston love train right now. So I love that when he comes out, his music plays. There is no posing at the top of the ramp. There is no pomp and circumstance. Every time Eddie Kingston beelines down to that ring, just I want to fuck someone up. Like that's all every time, and I love it. I love it so much. Oh yeah, you like him now. I'm
Yep.
happy.
Yep. That's what it took, apparently, him going against John Moxley. Because I don't like John Moxley at all.
I'm kind of sad that it wasn't him coming out last year covered in blood, looking like a zombie, holding a gas can, because that was one of the coolest visuals from Forbidden Door last year that I've ever seen in my life. Or no, was that Forbidden Door? No, it was the one
Not
before it.
not Double or Nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, was it? Okay.
yeah, it was Double or Nothing last year when I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
you should know why that wasn't my favorite thing because you already said it. Covered in
Blood.
blood. Yeah. How much of it was I really seeing like this? And
Well,
insert.
I mean, he was covered more in like a white powder or something. It looked like that he looked like a zombie shuffling down to the ring with a gas can. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, sometimes when you're getting gasoline, you have to run through Tony Khan's cocaine stash. These things happen.
Allegedly,
K-Fit? No.
for legal reasons, alleged cocaine staff.
Pixie sticks, his pixie stick collection. That's how he stays awake and alert and why he never blinks.
Yeah, but so now that we're at this match, I can finally talk about something I held off. This crowd loved Hangman. There
Mm-hmm.
was cowboy
Cowboy
shit.
shit.
They were cheering, they were screaming, like they were cheering when they first came out. I thought, okay, yeah, this is definitely a pro elite crowd. Then the Young Bucks get tagged in, and I hear boos, and I was surprised because, like, how are they cheering Hangman? Which, okay, we everybody who's listening to this knows how we feel. We are fully on Team Elite. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Hangman allegedly was the one that started all this shit, and they're, still cowboy shit. They love him. They cheer him. The Bucks are the ones that got like punched in the face and a chair thrown at them just for doing exactly what Punk asked. If anyone has a problem, come to my locker room and talk to me. Why are they the ones getting booed? I don't get it.
That might not be their problem with them though. Like that might not be the issue that the crowd had with the Young Bucks.
I don't understand the Young Buck hate. I don't get it. I will never get it. I I don't know.
Um, if I had to guess, Matt and Nick Jackson are, especially Matt, model pretty, like model pretty boys, who have changed the face of wrestling. And gosh darn it, some people don't like that. There's like, you can't be pretty, you can't be talented, you can't have happy families, like something, no, boo.
I hate it. Like, I don't feel like they deserve it. They seem like such genuinely kind people.
Hmm.
I and like you said, like nice families, like they're good family people. They, eh, like you've seen them on BTE, like people would stop them at the airport or on the street or whatever, and they would film them for BTE. They put them on the damn show
Yeah.
and like still give them an autograph. And I don't know. And then the excuse that you always hear from like the Bucks haters, or all they do are super kicks. And it's like, all right, well, I never, ever, ever want to hear you say one good thing about the Usos, because every Usos match is exactly the same. They have the exact same wrestling style.
Hmm.
And no one complains about them, but every one of their matches is a damn super kick party. Look what they just did to Roman. Same thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it just irks me.
Super kicks are a popular wrestling move, and people just need to get the fuck over it.
Yeah. I don't know. But this, this 10 man was almost exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Hmm.
A really high high energy, a lot of spots, a lot of brawling, some blood. I mean, that moment where Eddie Kingston and Mox were just slapping the shit out of each other in the middle of the ring, and then it was fucking pandemonium outside of the ring, and they were like not even paying attention to it. That was my favorite part of the match by far.
This was the one Murder Grandpa was in, right? And the Murder Grandpa chants got started?
Uh
Or am I?
no, that was with he was on Jericho's team. It was
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That I'll get into it then. I loved that, especially the look on Murder Grandpa's face.
yeah,
He's
that
so
was funny.
diabolical, but it was just such a cute look. It's like, oh, you little serial killer.
Yeah, I can't ever feel that way about him. That man terrifies me. I love him, but he terrifies me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I want a distance. Want a distance. Yeah, excellent match. And I
I
was
think
extra happy because I actually got to see this match. So
you would have took the pen in this match, right?
yeah,
Yuta Wheeler? Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, I love Wheeler Yuta. I think he's great in Blackpool Combat Club. I think he's going to have a wonderful career. He was another one where it's like, I know who's eating this pin.
I was surprised that it was Ishii that was the one that like won the match. I was surprised but happy. I was happy to see because I said at one point I was like, they got to give the New Japan people something. Like it can't just be all AEW guys that are like getting the pen or winning all night. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I also love the spot where I think the Bucks were going to beat. Yeah, they were going to do the BT trigger, I believe, on
And
Moxley,
they,
and Eddie took it.
mm-hmm.
I just that's another thing. People say that the Bucks matches never have storytelling in it. There was like layers upon layers of storytelling in that match. Like there's storytelling in every one of their matches. Oh god, I already went off of my rant. I I loved all the different relationships between people in the match. Like Ishii has like history with like Mox and the it just all the shit between Claudio and Eddie from like years and years ago, and like Mox and Eddie and the Bucks and Hangman and like the Combat Club and Mox and Hangman, and it was just it was such a good fucking match. I loved every second of it.
Agreed. Me and all of my great commentary today. I agree with Megan.
New Japan's more of my wheelhouse than
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think last year, like Forbidden Door was the like one that I was more in charge of too. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least I'm more familiar this year.
yeah, because you got a chance to see a lot of these people,
Mm-hmm.
except for we'll be getting to it in a little bit. The person that I was the most excited to see this year, but we'll get to that a little later.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why I don't have any memory of this match, and I feel really bad because it was the only women's match on the card.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if I like did I have to go do something or was I not in the room? I might have been checking on Bella and didn't know that match was coming. I have no idea.
Well,
But
yeah. You
Tony Storm and Willow.
as you had said, like messaging back and forth, you're just like, well, we know who's winning this because Willow's title's not on the line. Like that tells you right there. Um I'm I feel like at last Forbidden Door there were no women's matches. I think it was all men's. I could be wrong, but I think that's the case. Um and so I was glad that there was a women's match. Mm,
And
Megan,
double check.
yeah, Megan does not like Tony Storm at all. I'm like, it depends on who she's against. I will say I love the little bun she's got going. What we did talk about was how, um, and I guess her gear was a callback to like her of old, like something that she used to do. But if you're not someone who is up to date on Tony Storm's or Tony Storm career historian, um, you're probably going to be like Megan and I, where we were both like, it looks like she reached into Liv Morgan's closet from a few years ago and just put on her gear. Um, And I mean, doesn't help with the hair. And I mean, just blue tongue. That's all we need to get the full Liv Morgan effect with that. Yes, raising your hand.
Yeah, there was a women's match last year. Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. So Tony Storm has been on both Forbidden Doors.
Oh, I think she talked about that during the what the heck is it called? Media scrum. Because caught part of that.
I did not watch any of that because it was late enough, and some of us have work in the morning. Tony Khan, like,
Oh, I watched it the next day. Was when I was getting ready for work.
I felt like at that point when I got home from work, I saw enough on Twitter of what was said that I was like, "Fuck, I don't even need to watch it now." Like,
Yeah, I mean, well, I caught none of what Tony Khan said, but I caught pieces of other things. But yeah, I mean, the I almost said the Riot Squad. Whoops. The Outsiders got ousted during the match from ringside for fucking around. But I mean, they had already caused enough havoc that like pins happen. Willow, I believe, caught Tony Storm with the spray can. I think that was this match. I'm also lots been happening in my life lately, so everything is bleeding together a little bit. But it was either that or maybe that happened to Sky Blue. I feel like it was Willow. But at any rate, I love Willow. I'm glad she was on the pay-per-view. More Willow Nightingale. Please.
I know, I wish she won. I did see the end of it. I remember the end of the match. But I think I remember saying to you that like how much like Soraya just fucking eats at me because
Yeah.
I cannot stand the shrieks that come like just the way. Oh, I can't. It just you ever have those noises that actually make you like cringe? It's every time she screams, it's like the same thing when someone just puts their nails down a chalkboard. I can't. That's probably another reason why I tuned out. Like I I I remember. Okay, I do remember now because I remember what time this match happened. It was around 9 o'clock, and I was like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. I'm wait, no, that was the day before. That was Collision. Never mind, I'm wrong. I don't know what the fuck I did during this match, but I was not present mentally or maybe not physically for it, except for the end of the match.
One comment I want to make about Forbidden Door in general. One of my heavy criticisms is that of AEW pay-per-views in general is that they go on way too fucking long. This one was not the case. Like I feel like they like it went just the right amount of time because I was like I had a health fair that I had to run the next day, which got rained out and a tent collapsed on people and it was a whole thing. But yeah, so trauma. But I was like, if Tony Khan stays true to form, I'm going to have to like cut this short and watch the rest of it tomorrow. Thank you, Tony Khan, for not doing that. And I wonder if that was Tony Khan's doing or the New Japan side of it, where they were like, look, our wrestlers have bedtimes. They need to be tucked in. They need like no.
I mean, it still did end right before midnight. Like, I think it was just that all the matches were so good that it felt like it went really fast because there was
Maybe.
14 matches. Like, it was not,
Is that including the pre-show?
yeah. So there were still 12 matches on the regular show, which is about normal for them. And the next match that we're about to talk about went for 39 minutes and 45 seconds. So I think that just because this pay-per-view was that good,
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I think that's more because it was still